Yo, it's Captain, and I'm bringing you a second impressions of Wuthering Waves. This is gonna be more like a supplementary video. I did kind of a longer video yesterday about my first impressions, first time playing, and I had played about 3 hours. I got to the first town. Well, I've played approximately another 3 hours. I don't think I made as much forward progress. But I did get to explore some other systems. I got to explore the town a little bit. I got to engage with the team part of the combat, and I got to look at the gacha part, the pulls. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I don't know. I'm planning on playing again tomorrow if I get the chance. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I hope I will. And I'll probably have a third part. But I don't know. It's just I just wanted to make the videos more consistent than wait on it. But I think I'm gonna try just in general to do shorter videos. I think it's like discouraging people because they're so long, and I think it'll help me to keep it targeted. Like today, I'm gonna just focus on those three things, and I think that'll help. And maybe it'll give me a little more time for streaming stuff too. But so that's what we're gonna do. Just gonna be like a light, hopefully shorter. Not like super short, but shorter. Well, I was doing like an hour-long video. Okay, it was a lot for for to be kind of just. Oh, it's kind of a nice chat. Okay, look, this isn't the point of this video. I like talking, so I don't mind doing an hour, but we'll keep it condensed for your benefit. So that's what I want to try. It's gonna like. I just want to talk about what we did today because we didn't make a lot of story progress, okay? But we did get to play around. I'll tell you one thing, probably my overall impressions of my second play today was a difference of feeling. When I am playing Genshin, or when I'm playing, let's stick with Genshin because there's two other games that I compare this to: Genshin Impact and Zelda Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom. Both those games, because they're kind of the same open world action adventure type thing. Now Genshin and this game are much more JRPGs, whereas Zelda is an adventure. I wouldn't actually call these adventures, but So it is different there. It is more comparable to Genshin. But I mean, as far as running around the open world, they're in the open world format that Breath of the Wild defined. So I compare it to that, and I play it. I play in Tears of the Kingdom right now. So, but the thing that I noticed when comparing this to Genshin is that in Genshin, when I am sitting through the story, unless it's a story section that's boring or something, that's what I'm looking forward to in Genshin. I like the story, I like the characters, I like the world building, and I want to just immerse myself in this nice story, and it's fun, right? And then when it kind of, when there's like a gameplay part, I'm kind of like, ooh, they want me to run around, they want me to mess with this thing, or oh god, they want me to do combat now. I am not looking forward to that part because I don't like that part in Genshin. The gameplay doesn't click with me in Genshin. But I'll tell you, when I was playing this today, I felt the opposite. We were doing story, and I was like, yo, when do I get to play again? Like, when do I get to hit my buttons? This gameplay, this combat is fun. I'm enjoying this. Now we're just talking about stuff, and I mean, this story is interesting, right? I like the world building. I like learning about the story and whatnot, but it's not, it's not like mind blowing. It's just like I said yesterday, it's just a passable story so far. I'm not super invested. I'm interested to see what it's gonna do, and I, enjoy. And I'm enjoying sitting and listening to the voice actors. Some of them, like I said, some land, some of them don't. But it's all passable and enjoyable. But really, I was just like, man, this is a lot of talking. When do I get to play again? Because the play part was so fun. To the point where I was like, you know what? I wonder if this is a game where I just skip all the story and play and just work on the gameplay, because I just like the gameplay. And I don't, I don't necessarily need to be invested in another story right now. I have other stories I'm invested in. I think it would be a disservice. I'm enjoying the story enough not to do that, but I am liking the gameplay enough that I would consider it, right? So that was kind of my main takeaway from today, was that this game is fun to play and I would like to play it. And then you get into that problem of video games where they always seem to, the story and the gameplay seem to compete with each other. Very few games marry the two, which is, I think, the best thing for the medium of video games. But at the same time, sitting and watching a cool story is, and seeing cool cutscenes and stuff is pretty cool. So, you know, what do you do? What are you in for? But today I was like, let me play. I just want to play. So speaking of gameplay, speaking of things we got to play, one of the things I did, I got distracted on the story, was even though we were in town, what I liked about the town was that it was still a gameplay environment. So as you're running around the town, you'll see people kind of, like an icon will appear above their head. They might flag you down or something, and it's like a little side quest. But it wasn't just a little side quest; it was a side activity, right? And there were also little challenge points. Like we got to I was just running around. I climbed the roof because the gameplay's fun. It's fun to climb. It's fun to run up. And I just ran up the roof because I was, tired of talking. And they had me go to a place. I'm like, well, I'm gonna run up the roof, see what's up there. And there was a little challenge. There was a chest that was locked, and there was like a little challenge next to it. And it was all right. Get to the top of the roof without climbing. And they had put like jump bars and boost bars that you could run into. And so it was like a little platforming challenge. And you got to the top, and there was a meta reward, a cube that I'm supposed to take somewhere. But also it unlocked the chest, so you could go do the chest. Like that was cool. That one wasn't a quest, it was just a little challenge thing. Then there were quests where it's like, we talked to a guy and he's like, oh, I was going to show the kids, this cool people turning into a fish, because that's, I guess, what you can do. And he's like, but my volunteer's gone and the kids are going to be sad. And you're like, well, I'll volunteer to be a fish. And then it just takes you to another part of the town and you get to do like a little challenge. Here, I'll show it to you. I got a clip of this one. And you get to do a little activity challenge. So it's not just like a side quest where you go talk to a guy and it's more talking. It's like, hey, you get to do gameplay. And see, you get to be this fish and you just run around and you got to collect the things so your stamina doesn't run out. And then you can, this was my second try, actually. Failed this the first time. But you can fly around. And this is where I failed it last time. That float up the waterfall, you can do that anywhere. It wasn't just a waterfall. So it takes me a moment. That hopefully doesn't take me so long, dude. This clip's gonna be cringe. No, see, then you can float around. So you're just like flying through the water and stuff, and you're trying to get to the end. And if you watch, like, the little kids are there, they're running, they're like following you around and cheering you on and stuff. So it was just like a little fun activity to do. And this was in town. This wasn't like I was outside. It wasn't like the town is just all NPC interactions and that's it. That's one of the reasons I hate towns in RPGs, is because there's no gameplay. There's just, I like talking to NPCs and doing stories, but man, I like gameplay too. And so it was nice just to run around town. All of a sudden, this guy is just like, hey, could you do the fish thing? And it's like, I guess so. And I get to do this little fun activity. And see a little fish. And all the kids were happy. But so that was nice. And that wasn't the only one. Ooh, that wasn't the only one. There was a jumping one too, where I ran into a guy and he's like, yo, we're practicing for the lion dance. You gotta jump. We used to jump on the poles and do backflips. And he's like, well, how about you try it? It'll be cool. People will like it. And it lets you pick from easy, medium, hard. And you're not doing poles. You're doing practice rounds. So you're like just in a crate in the middle of town. And it was an action challenge. It was, if you hit dodge in the air, you backflip. You do a dodge in the air, which is a backflip. And I failed it immediately because if you just jump up and backflip, you of course backflip off of the boxes. And he's like, no, you gotta like jump forward. and then backflip. And so it was a fun action challenge because if you held forward, you would dodge forward. So you had to jump forward, let go, hit the button, backflip, and then, you know, control yourself so you land back on the box. And you had to do like, you had to do to try to do 10. You had 30 seconds to do as many as you could. But if you did at least 10, if you did at least 5, you got a reward. If you got 10 in, you got both rewards. And then there was an easy, medium, hard where the size of the boxes got smaller and smaller. So you had to be more precise with it. And that was really fun. It was just a little challenge to do. It was just a little activity challenge, a little action challenge, a gameplay challenge, which was really fun. I enjoyed this. I was like, the gameplay of this game is what's really grabbing me. Not that the story is bad or anything. Not the characters are bad or uninteresting. It's just the gameplay is a highlight. And I often feel in these types of open world games, the gameplay is a letdown. So the fact that they're focusing on it so much is encouraging to me. Now, like, is it going to get boring or something? Is it just because it's shiny and new? I don't know. But it's working for me now, and they're putting focus on it, which is really nice. It's fun to climb. It's fun to run. It's fun to do these little activity challenges. It's fun to combat. So I was really pleased to see that kind of thing, especially in a town where you don't usually see the world exploration stuff, or it'll be like side quests where it's just, go talk to, just running back and forth and talkie quests. And I'm sure it has those too. I didn't see any, but we're kind of story gated a little bit. Like I didn't complete the town and the story yet. We're slowly unlocking stuff. People said I didn't even unlock events yet. It's like the next thing to do. We got all the way to the gacha system where you unlock the gachas. That's where we got today. But it was just nice to see this kind of thing. Like I actually had a good time in town because I enjoy running around talking to NPCs, but I do that for so long, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk to no more NPCs. So it was just nice. It was like, hey, here's an icon, a little purple icon that indicates you can do a little activity. I was like, cool. Now the only thing is like, am I ever gonna do those activities again? No, they're kind of like side quests. I've done them. You know what I mean? So they even made a hint at it. If you go talk to the guy who the backflip trainer guy, if you go talk to him again, you pick from the difficulties, and the final option is quit out. And of course it's in canon though. It's you're talking to him, and so it says I gotta go. Maybe I'll try this again if I ever have time. All right, because that's what you're gonna think as a player. I did it. I got my rewards. I'm done with that now. I don't need to do it anymore. Maybe it was fun enough. I'll try it again if I have some time. So I thought that was they know the devs know that this is how this works. You do it once and it's done. But it's like map completion. There was map completion in the town. I appreciated that. I enjoyed being in the town. That's what I wanted to say about the mini games. Maybe mini games is not the right way to say it because I mean you can technically repeat it, but are you ever gonna need to? I don't know. Maybe there'll be bigger versions as you go on, where you will have like a daily version of it or something. I don't know. I haven't got that far. I don't think I've even unlocked dailies. I assume they're there. So, what else? I wanted to talk about. Oh, I was debating on talking about this. I will show you this quickly. Yesterday, I brought up how this game likes to do a lot of close-ups for the story, and the higher fidelity character models are making that work. There's a lot of acting they can do, but I just kind of wanted to show an example of this. It's not a lot of emoting, but let me click on it. But I just want to kind of, oh, it's making sound. Well, it's only for me. But see, like, if you just take a look at this. Now, she just did her thing. Now, she's not going to do any actions. But, like, this is this is a character we met today. And I enjoy, like, this is a nice shot. This is a nice close-up shot. And there's enough going on. Like, if you sit there and watch her, her eyes will look around. Like, she'll look around a lot. There's a lot of overlapping animation with the hair swaying and all this stuff. And so when you have these story, I'm using my mouse. Can you see my mouse? Okay, I shouldn't be doing that. Because it makes the video UI pop up. But so there's a lot going on where you can zoom in on a character like this, and it's pleasing. It's nice, and there's a lot of little tiny machinima motions they do. Here, we'll take her off the screen. there's a lot of little tiny machinima animations they do where people are just constantly like looking around. They're just doing things, and it's really nice. Um, because you can play these types of games, particularly anime, with being an abstract art style. It can be very difficult to be zoomed in, because they don't have a lot in their face. They just got the main features, but there's enough going on here with the hair, and there's like a lot of little widgets and whatnot, and then there's a lot of movement to kind of sell it, to make it feel good, to have a close up like this. Compare this to like a long time ago, because what it does is it really makes the game feel modern and new. Because compare this to like playing Oblivion or something, and you like you do the face to face camera shot, and it like zooms in, and the focal point's all weird, and the face is like, and the faces are like ugly and distorted, and they have really weird animations that totally throws you out of it. So a game like this, it's about having pretty characters and whatnot, and it's kind of nice to have a high enough fidelity that you can do a zoom in and enjoy the closer shots, and see the nicer animations with the eyes moving around, with the hair swaying. It doesn't take me out of it. It doesn't feel weird, and it doesn't look old. It looks new. It looks modern. It looks good, which is really great for a game that just released. So that was just a short aside. I didn't know if I was going to talk about that, but I wanted to. So so what's next on the list? I wanted to talk about the team combat, because yesterday I talked about the regular combat, and I didn't get a chance. I said I didn't really get a chance to do the team combat. I did get like another character, but this time they gave us a little trial where we had two characters, and it is a full 3-person team. That's it. All the teams are 3 people. I was wondering about that yesterday, and there is no cooldown on switching. So you can switch between them, which is great, because that's actually one of my big complaints in these team based games where you switch between them. Like, it bothers me in Honkai, and it bothers me in Genshin. That was my beep. There's a little cooldown. So like in Honkai, if you mess up your 2-minute combo because you got hit, or the boss had a bad pattern, or you miss your QTE because there's no way to tell when it's going to end, and so as you're hitting the button it turns off, you're like, you gotta be kidding me, then you're actually stuck. You have to restart, because it's like a 5 or 6 second cooldown to get back to the character you were just on, to try to like reset your combo. So this one, since the QTEs, or the intro attacks, are all based on a gauge that the character you're currently using has, that you just build up, and once it's built up, whenever you switch, you'll do the switch attack. You don't have to worry about it. So because of that, they don't need to put cooldowns or anything, because it's not like you're going to be flying through combo attacks. You just can switch freely, depending on, and which leads it to be more flexible. And that's what I'm looking for in an action game. Flexibility in my actions and choices, so I can make good choices on the fly. If I try something, it doesn't work, I can switch and try something else. That's what I enjoy. So I guess I can run this video too. So we got to do, they gave us like a little trial to do. This was a story trial. So as you're playing the story, they give you this little test to, it's your physical exam. But yeah, they give you 2 other characters. They give you this lady that's the healer, and she ends up being a starter character too. So you do get a healer, you start a character. But she has this cool Pokemon. She's technically like a mage character, but instead of magic, she has this Pokemon. And so you get to just try out this team, and it was really nice. It felt really good to be doing the switches. It felt really good to be trying things out and be like, all right, well, I want to do this right now. I need to switch to this character. And it's like, oh, well, now I want to try this. It was nice, because if you have built up the gauge, it's the circle to the left of your health and meter at the bottom. If you have built that up, and like an enemy spawns too far away from you, when you switch in, you do the switch attack. And when you do a switch attack, you kind of like zoom in on the enemy. So it was really nice, because like I'd have an enemy too far away, and it's like, oh, but I got a switch attack up. Poof, I'd fly over there. So I felt like I just had more tactical options, which was really pleasing to me. right? You get to work on the dodges, you get to work on your combo that you're doing, and now your team also helps. So you have a nice here. That's probably enough of that. You have a nice set of abilities on each character. You've got a combo to work with, you've got the skills to work with, you've got the meter to work with. But now you augment that with, well, I've also got a team system. So if I need to jump over there really quick, I can use my teammate to do that. If I need to group them up, maybe one of my teammates is good at grouping. If I need some heals, maybe one of my teammates can do heals, right? So you get that, I'm starting to see how you can put teams together and how you can use that as choices for like tactical and strategy choices for the for a team and for the combat itself. I think that's what I was trying to go for the combat, for an encounter, and I liked it. It felt good. I was a little worried because a lot of times I play these team games and I don't like them. I just like to play the DPS, and then the supports are just kind of there. They just force me to switch into them and do their support rotation, which just means I have to do a really big long combo before I can get back to my DPS. Now, in things like Honkai, that can be a really fun combo to execute. But if I've like staggered a boss and I have like a 5 second window to hit them, I'm like, dude, I can't. My combo is 2 minutes long. There's no way I can hit him in 5 seconds. So that's annoying to me. And in things like Genshin, it just feels like it feels like all the characters are just cooldowns, and I just have to switch between them and try to do things. And it's fun to make the element combos and whatnot, but it's not. It's again, I don't really like feeling like I'm just cycling through my characters. I like to feel like I'm playing a character. That's a personal preference for me. I'm sure the Genshin system appeals to a lot of people. A lot of people play that game. But for me, I want to feel like I'm pressing buttons on my combos on one character, like I'm playing Mana or something. And so it was nice to see that I can do that, and the team system doesn't necessarily take away from that, but it does give me more options. So I could switch and do their combos, switch to their things. I was really worried that it would take away and I wouldn't like it, but it seemed to just expand my options, which is great in an action game. Now, am I doing high level play? No. Am I doing high level teams or meta things? Do I know the meta? No. I'm what, like 6 hours in, whatever, 2 4 hour streams. So no. So maybe by the time you get to it, you're trying to do meta stuff. It is DPS to support, switch them in, do their rotations, and maybe it's fun, maybe it's not. I just wouldn't know. I just can't know that this early. But I can tell you, it felt good to have that extra flexibility and to be able to feel like my teammate expanded my capabilities instead of restricted, like locked down my gameplay into a more restricted format. So that was great. All right, the last thing I want to talk about, like I said, I'm trying to make it more direct here. Have a more watchable video for you. The last thing I want to talk about with the last thing we managed to do today, which was unlock the gacha system. And I don't have any clips for this, so well, I could show you the gacha. Here, it looks like a gacha. Ooh, characters. And there was, yeah, these are the five starters that you can, well, not the five, excuse me. These are the five stars that are in the standard banner. That's what I was looking for, the word standard. But it'll take me too long to go through them. I just wanted to show you what the banner looked like. I should have not even played the video. But because it's kind of a gag, there's not really anything to show you. But so yeah, it has like, there's a launch of five stars on a standard banner, and then it has an event banner with another 5-star that lasts for a certain amount of time. It's all very what you would expect from a system that, like, if you've played Genshin or Star Rail. I think Star Rail has like 7 5-stars on the standard banner, so it's maybe a little bit less 5 stars than you expect. I don't know what Genshin launched with. Um, I don't know. I mean, I could rattle them off, but it would take some time. I'm sure somebody knows. But yeah, so you've got your standard, and then you're gonna have the releases. That's how the gacha games work. So the current event banner 5 star, he's a big dragon spear guy, and he's gonna be around for like 15 more days, and then they'll release a new banner with a new guy or girl, and you'll have a certain amount of time to pull on that one, and then the cycle continues, right? Then there's usually like a major update, and a new banner comes out. And then presumably they'll do rerun banners as time goes on in case you missed one from beforehand. But the standard ones are always there, right? So that's how it works. As far as the gacha rates, they seem to be very similar to Genshin, where you when you pull on a character, you're trying to go for that 5 star, and the pity is I think 80, so it's a little smaller than Genshin. But I mean, maybe it's harder to get the crystals. I don't know. But it's 80 to get there, and it does have the 50-50, so you're guaranteed a 5 star at the first 80, but it might not be the banner character. But if you lose that, the next time you do it, you will guaranteed get the banner character, just like Genshin, just like Star Rail. So full guarantee. You have the worst luck ever, and you have to rely on the pity system totally and completely. It would be 160 pulls to guarantee a character. So that's what you'd save up, or throw money at if you wanted to. So that's how it works. It's very similar to Genshin. The weapon banner, they have a weapon banner, and people say, I didn't check it out too much because I'm kind of casual with these. I don't worry about the weapons too much. But people said what's nice about the weapon banner is it doesn't have any 50-50s or anything like that. You just get it. If you get to the guarantee, I don't know. I forget. I don't know. It might be 80 as well. You'd have to check me on that. But you get to the guarantee, you just get the weapon, right? So there's no. I think in Genshin and Star Rail it's like a 75-25, so it's not coin flip, but you're not quite guaranteed. So that's all. What maybe probably like what is expected with this day and age, what's standard. Because Genshin's most super popular, so it's kind of setting the standard, and this is a game like in the Genshin type genre, so it's what you'd expect. Maybe it feels a little more generous because it's like at 80s, but is it actually more generous? Who knows what your crystal rate is. And you do have like a pity. You get like some dust when you do the pulls, and then there's a little shop where you can spin the dust, and you can get some 4 stars from it, and I think you can get the 5 stars in the slower dust. So there's the other, more standard definition of pity, where you get like your little, you get your it's like I don't know, it's like you're playing Hearthstone and you're dust and stuff, right? So then you can build up a card you're missing or something. It's kind of like that. So it's the same. It's very similar to the shops they have in Genshin and Star Rail, where you can use some of that to buy a few extra pulls every month or so, and it's also it seems you can buy some certain characters and whatnot from there. I don't know, they're probably on a rotation. That's how Genshin does it. You can buy like a couple 4 stars, and each month it changes. So there's that, which is helpful. But what I thought was interesting was the starter banners. So there's a starter banner. There's 2 beginner banners. There's the novice banner, and then when you succeed at that, it transitions to the starter banner. And the standard banners also kind of function like the starter banner. So this is what's different and interesting to me. So let's start with different from like Genshin. So let's start with the novice banner. So the novice banner is clearly the thing you're supposed to pull on right from the beginning to just get you a 5-star quickly. It's a 40 pull, I think. 50 pull. I think it's a 50 pull. Guarantee 5-star. And it's cheaper. You can only pull in tins, and they don't cost 10 pulls, they cost 8 pulls. And they give you like so many pulls to start with to get you going. So clearly the idea is just to quickly get you a 5-star. It is random. So it'll be one of these 5 standards. One of these 5 standards. Was there ever like a thing where you could see all 5 at once? Probably if I had dug through my thing. But there's like a cool guy. There's a couple cute girls. There's a cute guy. And then there's like a cool waifu girl. You know, they got monks. They got mages. They got a spear dude. And then they got like a lion dancer and like a healer, I think. So there's a kind of a nice selection to pick from of archetypes that you might like. So when you do that novice banner, you're probably going to have 30 pulls on it. I think they give you to start with, and and I got mine in like 20 pulls. So, and I got the cute girl with the plushies, and she explodes things, which is funny to me. But so that'll get you one fast, and you won't know what it is. It'll be random. But then once you activate that one, it switches over to the beginner banner, and the beginner banner works like the standard banners. There's a standard banner for characters, a standard banner for weapons, and you actually get to target one. So the event banner is always, you know, the timed one that lasts 15 days. That's always going to be targeted. You know, it's the current guy. But the standard banner, you can just pull on. You usually get pulls for playing in game or whatnot, and you just kind of pull on it whenever. But you usually don't get to pick. You just get whatever you get. In this one, it's still got the 80 pull guarantee and whatever, but you pick who you're pulling for. So it's got the 80 pull and the 50-50 and whatever, but you do get to target one. So if there's a specific standard 5-star that you want, like say you really wanted that cool guy with the spear. Actually, that might be confusing because the event. Say you really want the lion dance guy, right? He's a standard. And instead of like just pulling and crossing your fingers and hoping you actually target him. You say, no, I'm going for this guy, and it'll kind of work like an event banner then that just doesn't have a time limit, and you use different pulls on it, you know, because the event pulls are different than the standard pulls, so they can reward them to you in different ways. So I thought that was really nice. You could do that with the weapon banner as well. The standard weapon banner you pick. You're like, well, do I want a pistol? Do I want a fist? Do I want a sword? You can pick. It's really nice. So even though you're doing all this gacha, which is random, they're giving you ways to reduce the randomness, to get you more what you want, so you're not going to be as disappointed when things don't work out. You know what I mean? Because randomness is fun. You know, losing constantly is not. Getting unlucky is not fun. So they're helping you out. Like, do you really want this cute monk girl? Well, here, you can pick her, and then just eventually you'll get there on the polls. So the difference in the beginner banner is that I think the rates are better or something. So there's a standard banner, but the beginner banner that transitions from this, I've made this more confusing than it probably is. But you do have a regular beginner banner. Usually beginner banners in this game work like they're going to give you better deals, better rates, something, but they only last so long. So you just pull on them until they're gone, and then you're back. Then you're in the regular banner that's just going to be there forever. So this one, I think what it was is the rates are better. So you're more likely to get the 5-star, but it works just like the standard banner. You pick one and you go. So you have the novice banner, which gets you a random 5-star very quickly. That's its goal. And then you have a beginner banner, which is going to get you another 5-star that you get to pick. And it's going to be faster, but not as fast as that novice one. And then once you got those 2 5-stars, you now are back into like regular rotation of just the standard, which will get you 5 stars eventually, but on a regular thing. So the goal is to get you a couple 5 stars faster, get you started, get you on the ground, get you enjoying the game. That's how these beginner banners work. That's why they're in games like this. And I don't know, I feel like it's doing a good job for that. Also, this game gave me a selector. And I think they put a post up that it was because they were having some issues at launch or whatever. I do not know if that selector will always be there. But when I jumped in, it was, and I think it is for at least a little bit. But that gets you it lets you just pick one of the standard 5 stars. So from these 5 standards, at least if you're at here at the launch, you actually are going to get 3 of them kind of quickly. You're going to get that novice one at an accelerated rate. You're going to get the beginner one at a fast rate or a faster rate, and then you've got the selector where you can just pick the one you want and just get it instantly. So that's actually pretty cool. There's 5, so there's 5 standard 5 stars, and you're probably gonna get 3 of them. Use the random one first, so so you don't accidentally overlap. But yeah, you get the random one, and then you get to pick 2. And I think I don't know, that seems really generous. It seems really nice. That feels good to me as someone's just checking out the game and see how it's going. It's like, oh, that's cool. So like I can just pick 3 of these and within a reasonable amount of time playing through the beginning, I should be able to get those. Or if I only liked one of them, like say maybe I don't like cute children and I don't like cute waifus and I just want the badass cool dude. Maybe I could put both of my choices into him, and get a constellation or something. So the gacha system seemed nice. It was probably what you expect, and seemed like a nice way to start off, and seemed even a little bit more generous. I like that you can make your choices on the standard banners. I like that you get to pick. So if I really need a pistol right now, I don't have to like cross my fingers and get 5 swords. I'll get the pistol. I think that's really nice. And I think when you're trying to compete with the biggest game out there, one of the ways you're gonna do that is you gotta feel a little more generous, right? So that people will want to get invested in you instead of because they're already invested in the other game, right? So I think they're on a good track for that. Video, all right, the video ended up kind of getting long anyways. But it's better than we've been doing. I was hoping for 30 minutes, but that is to say, those were the 3 things I wanted to cover. I took too long on the gacha. I probably made it confusing. I'm sorry if I did. Those are the 3 things I wanted to cover. The mini games and the activities, just even in a town, I thought were really fun. So world exploration, running around, having little things to do, was fun. The team combat, we got to try a little bit of that today. I enjoyed the team combat. I felt like it added to my experience and didn't restrict it, which is something I was looking for. And then the gacha system seems like what I expected, and maybe even a little bit more user-friendly than I expected, which was nice. So that's it. That's my second impressions for Wuthering Waves, the second day. I'm hoping to get a third day soon. I mean, I'll get a third day eventually, but I'm hoping it'll be tomorrow. You'll know if you see a video, I got it. Otherwise, you'll probably see it won't be another video till the weekend when we are gonna play something this weekend. Maybe we'll play Tears of Kingdom or something. I don't know what we'll play. But I'm having a good time with this, so I want to get another day with it. But that's it. That's my second impressions, my little supplement to yesterday's video. Hopefully you found it enjoyable. Hopefully you found it interesting. Hopefully you found it helpful. But either way, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you around.